Hello, entrepreneurs. Welcome. I'm so excited about this podcast. I am the Business Doctor Keitumetse Lekaba, Managing Director at I'm an Entrepreneur. And today we have Mathebe Molise.
Hey, Kitu, how are you?
We're talking skin.
We're talking skin, beauty, everything.
Tell me where Beauty on TApp and Pastry started.
So Beauty on Tap started in 2015. It was first a find a service, beauty service application, mobile app. And it kind of transformed over time. And then pastry we launched in 2021. So pastry is the baby of the company.
Sure. So you are the perfect person to be speaking about our topic today, disrupt or be disrupted.
Yeah, because I hope we're disrupting and nobody's disrupting us. So yeah.
I mean, from what we're seeing, you are definitely disrupting the market. But before we start, tell us what's news. What's news in the world of Mathebe? What's happening? We see you opening stores.
So we just opened our second store at Menlyn. I think a lot of our Pretoria buttes or besties wanted a store there. And so we opened our second store recently, and we have a third one coming.
Oh, wow.
Soon. So we're currently working on that. It's going to open on 1 November, hopefully, fingers crossed, if everything goes well. And it's just us developing products and looking how we can innovate a lot more and how we can disrupt more in the beauty industry.
Where's the first store for people that don't know?
Our first store, our flagship as they call it, is at Mall of Africa. That was our first store that we opened last year in April.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And what is in the store? So if I go to the store, what do I expect to find? What do I find?
Yeah. So, I mean, when Beauty on Tap started, we had a very big focus on natural hair care and natural skin care. And the business just completely transformed over time. So now we focus on retailing skincare. So we retail everything from your high-end skincare that's expensive, all the way through to very, very affordable skincare. And so we're very focused on retailing niche brands, local brands mostly. Yeah. And so if you walk into a Beauty on Tap store, you're going to find a whole lot of skincare. You're going to find some self-care stuff from your home, diffusers and room sprays. And you're also going to find a lot of local hair care brands in the stores as well.
So you are currently collaborating with other entrepreneurs that are selling and you selling their products in your store.
Yeah, we've kind of been really lucky because we've always been a business that wants to put small businesses at the forefront when we ourselves, I think we're a medium business now, we're a small business. So it's just been us backing small businesses and basically giving them a platform to retail their products and also just to market their products in a very dynamic and different way.
That's super cool. And let's just talk about Mathebe the guy's in, right? And before we jump into the entrepreneurial stuff and, disrupting, and let's talk about the human.
Yes.
Because I think a lot of the times we miss the person behind the business.
Yes.
And we want to understand the human that is running or the woman behind the business, right? So what kind of advice do your friends usually ask you?
So I mostly get advice on business now. It's completely transformed. I used to get advice on a whole lot of other stuff, and now it's just advice on starting businesses. So I really love that people want to start businesses, even if it's just a side hustle. So people ask me things like, how can I market my business?
Yeah.
Or how do I even start this business? Some want to start skincare brands. And so they ask me, how do I start a skincare brand? So the conversation has changed from before, from like, this guy's giving me drama to how can I start a business? So that's what people mostly ask me now.
But does that not irritate you? Because does that not make you feel like you're always on?
Not really. I really love that people are reaching for the stars, and I love being an accountability partner. So if you want my time and my advice, I hold you accountable because I say, listen,
that's nice.
I gave you 2 hours of my time. So
you better use it wisely.
Yeah, I'm going to check that you're starting this business and you're doing what you got to do. So no, it's not annoying. I actually enjoy it. Yeah.
Oh, nice. And tell us, what's your cry in the car song, if you have one?
My cry in the car song is not a song. It's just me switching the radio off. And sitting with my thoughts and being like, that was a tough day. But I mean, I always say that you need to just leave the tough day behind and move on the next day. So when I'm really stressed, I would just want silence in the car. It's like, when you're parking in reverse and you have to switch the music down. It's the same thing for me. When I'm seeing flames, I want no noise in the car.
And how do you hype yourself up from that? From those tough days? Because we know the tough days are always there.
They are always there. I suppose I have the team at Beauty on Tap is really amazing. And so they always pick up on things that are like really difficult and run with them, or tell me not to worry. I have a very supportive partner as well who lets me vent to him all the time. So I just keep it moving. I've told myself that I can't dwell on like difficulties in the business. So first thing in the morning, as I said, I go to gym, I take all the stress out, and then I go into the office and start like nothing happened the day before.
Oh, nice. And the people wanted to know, how do you feel most supported by others?
Wow, that's a good question. I think for me, I think for me, the best support, and this sounds really shallow, but it's just everyone doing what they have to do on the day, like finishing your work, doing your work with passion, and just all of us working towards the same goal. I'm always just very surprised and intrigued by how the Beauty on Tap team really buys into the vision and what we're trying to do, and that they all work towards it every single day. So I think that's the best form of support that I can get from people, but also just little things like people lending an ear, people not necessarily in the Beauty on Tap team, but my friends as well, just willing to listen to me vent. My mom always hears me venting every day. When I leave work, I'm like, Mom, you won't believe what happened today. So it's just people lending an ear. I think that's the best form of support that any entrepreneur can get.
And who has shaped the type of entrepreneur that you currently are? Who has had impact on that?
I think my mom, firstly.
Yeah.
The other day I was actually thinking that my mom was very entrepreneurial. She always used to share like business ideas with me when I was really young. And she also had like a beauty business that didn't necessarily work out, but it was her innovating and trying something different. So I think just her aspirations or entrepreneurial spirit kind of like came, onto me, and it like, inspired me to also, try it out. But as I said, I also have a very supportive partner who, gives me direction, guides me, says you're doing this well, this is where you guys can improve. So I get support from all areas of life, actually. So.
And that's powerful. So it started back with your mom.
Yes. Yeah. My mom started a business. She made like eyebrow stencils to help ladies shape eyebrows. And this was like a really long time ago. I was still in high school. It was like in early 2000s, probably. And she was in retail stores, and it just didn't work out. I think it was just too early for something like that.
Yeah.
Had she had tools like, social media available to her and digital marketing, I think it would have really like taken off. So I've had somebody who's shown me how you can innovate and disrupt and just reach for the stars, because she was in retailers like, can I mention them?
Yeah, you can mention
okay. She was in retailers like Pick and Pay and Clicks.
Yeah.
Back then as a Black female. So that was really inspirational. Yeah.
Sure. And I like that because it's the power of beginnings for entrepreneurs.
Yes.
The power of beginnings, because it didn't start with you. It started back when your mom was trying out the whole beauty thing, and then it moved on to you. And now look at where you are.
Yeah.
She must be so proud of you. So let's jump back into the entrepreneurial journey, right? And let's talk about disrupting. How did you get disrupting right? Because you obviously also started with your brick and mortar store. If I'm
with
not
the
mistaken,
e-commerce
you
store
started
first.
with the e-commerce store first,
yes.
and then you went into that.
Yes.
And you've obviously disrupted the market in one way or one form or another. How have you managed to get that right?
I think a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck in disruption, meaning you have to innovate beyond what people have ever seen. So you have to be like the Apple or the Google or, that big disruptor. But disruption is literally just doing something very different in an industry and bringing something new to the table. And I think nobody was marketing beauty or selling beauty the way that we do. Nobody trusted that the consumer knows products so granular that they buy based on ingredients, that people actually want to be empowered with information to make the decision themselves rather than you just pushing product onto them. So I think we focused on pushing local brands. That's what made us very different at the beginning. And then second, it was just empowering the consumer with information to then make their own decision on what they want to buy. So I think for us, that's what we did differently in the beauty industry, particularly in South Africa. And I think that whole strategy has paid off for us.
And I've seen that the customer journey for you guys is quite important. How have you managed to execute and make sure that even your staff members are executing that right? Because I think you guys have that on lock.
Yo, I hope we do. But so I come from a very high performance banking background, and I worked for a bank that was like customer centric, customer centric. That's all they used to preach every
FNB.
single day. R&B.
Halala. Our
So,
people.
so F&B and R&B, like customer centricity is at the core of what they do. So in my own business, I mean, I side hustled for a really, really long time. So
Yeah.
in my own business, I took that culture of customer centricity into Beauty on Tap, and my things like order turnaround,
Yeah.
people getting their orders like same day or next day in their hands, and partnering with the right courier companies to make sure that happens. Making sure that the website is as user friendly as possible was really important. Even just the flow of our brick and mortar stores and how people experience beauty products was really important. So I preach the team every day that if an order is late, the whole team is in trouble. So they really, really push to make sure that orders go out on time and that our customers are kept as happy as possible.
That's good. And in this world of disruption, what trends are coming up in the beauty industry, and how are you guys preparing for them? I mean, without sharing your secrets
Our strategy.
and your strategies.
I think AI is really big now. I
Yeah.
think product innovation is probably like on lock for a lot of cosmetic giants, or even the small brands that are innovating products. So I think in terms of ingredients and product innovation, everyone is doing really well, but I think the winners are going to be the people that really use AI well on their platforms. So it's whether you have AI available in your store that can help people choose the right serum for their skin type, or if somebody logs onto your website, is there a chat GPT like chatbot that can help them with that decision making. So I think AI is definitely going to be huge over the next few years in terms of the beauty industry. So that's something that we're also working on our own platforms. And I just think a lot more brands in countries are starting to develop products that are made for people in that country. So we're seeing a lot of local brands coming up, people who look at the climate in South Africa, look at the skin types or skin concerns in South Africa, and create niche brands or niche products for those markets. So I think we're going to see a lot more niche brands coming to the fore like we've seen historically.
Sure. And what are some of the industry norms that you've completely disregarded as part of your disruptive nature?
I wonder, it's really hard, especially because beauty is a very regulated industry. So it's hard to kind of like go, past that and just, disregard it. But I think it's just beauty historically was marketed really weirdly, if I can
It
say
really
that.
was.
Yeah, like it was marketed really weirdly. And the other day I was actually on the freeway going to Menlyn, and I saw a billboard, and it was for a specific brand, and it spoke about ceramides on the billboard. And I was like, gosh, like years ago, people weren't marketing using ingredients. Like people didn't know what a ceramide is.
What's a ceramide?
Ceramide is like a fatty lipid that protects your skin. Yeah. For anti-aging and just for barrier fortification. So I think for us, it was like we kind of just said, we're not doing what you guys have been doing. We're going to market in our own dynamic way. We're going to be casual. We're going to be a brand that has a feisty personality. We've seen as a very cheeky brand, and people really enjoy stuff like that. So it's just pushing boundaries in terms of marketing and seeing how the market reacts, which has worked, I think, pretty well for all the brands under the Beauty on Tap umbrella and Beauty on Tap itself.
Nice. And what were some of the boundaries that you pushed that you really thought, yes, yeah, I'm really taking a risk here? Mara, at the end, it ended up paying off.
I think the one thing that we would do is we used to do like very cheeky memes, and we'd use like trending topics that were very tongue-in-cheek. And you'd kind of sit there and be like, yo, this can actually backfire. And, people on Twitter, or X as it's called now, are very like, responsive if you do something wrong. So we've always been a brand that's very like cheeky and puts out very cheeky marketing to advertise to people. But it's worked out, I think. But I think more than anything, I'm a goody-goody. I've always been a goody-goody. I try conform to norms. The only thing I don't conform to is just creating our own products and really giving the big brands a run for their money in terms of product innovation. So we just kind of are risk takers in the business, and that's how we kind of, I think, are at the forefront of beauty locally.
Nice. So let's move on to tips and tools to give to our entrepreneurs. So I'll start the sentence and then you can finish it off with what you've experienced or, along the journey, what you've had. So number one, this one mistake could be costing you.
Not having the right accounting processes and not having the right accounting skills in your business. Like I always say to people, if you're a small business and you're not doing your accounting right, whether it's tax or your books, it's going to be detrimental. So even something as small as understanding your margins in your business can be detrimental. So always make sure you have sound finance processes and controls in your business.
Like we always say, compliance and financial management is a non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. That is do or die for your business. So if you're an entrepreneur and you have no finance background, get a co-founder that has a finance background or hire an accounting company that can help you.
Okay, number two, not many people know this, but...
Not many people know this, but... Pastry skincare keeps me up at night. Just because scaling is hard. Scaling is really, really hard. Scaling and trying to keep the same quality is really difficult. So if you are a business that's really, really growing, try manage your scaling as much as you can. Don't scale beyond what you can't handle.
Yeah.
So I've seen that scaling is really difficult and maintaining that same quality is hard. So I'm trying to pull back on growth a little bit, but still want to grow, but I want to grow within a manageable capacity for the business.
And that's such a good point, because a lot of entrepreneurs, scaling beyond what you can handle often trips them.
Yeah.
And then you end up dying.
Failing. Yeah. There's so many businesses during COVID that scaled beyond what they could handle, and it's been detrimental just to the brand reputation. So that's something that really keeps me up at night. It's really weird. People are going to be like, "Oh my gosh, scaling keeps her up at night," but it's really,
you have to do it right.
You have to do it right. Yeah.
And as Mathebe, I wish I'd known this advice when I was expanding.
As Mathebe, I wish I'd known that you need to always make sure you hire the skills and expertise that you need in a role. I know a lot of small businesses try to not hire people who are capable for certain roles, and you hire somebody like a student who can just wing it because you don't necessarily want to pay for that labor. But that's something I've learned now, and we're more pedantic about it in the business now. When we recruit an expert for that role. So that's been a big lesson, but we've learned now, and we're pushing forward with the business and making sure we get that right.
So the people are an investment.
Yeah. People are your biggest investment in your business. I think that the business that we have has done well just because we have the right people in the business who are passionate about the business, who know what they're doing. So always make sure you hire the right people for your business. It literally can make or break your business.
And lastly, this is how I blend personal passions with business strategy.
What are my personal passions? Accounting? No. So I absolutely love creating products. I'm not a cosmetic chemist by profession. I'm a CA by profession. So I just love doing research on skincare products and new ingredients, and talking to our manufacturers who also formulate for us on like innovating products and can we put these ingredients together. So that's what I completely love, which is innovation, but that plays so well into the business as well, and it's what fuels the business's growth. So absolutely love creating new skincare products and new brands. I love brand building. So that's what
powerful.
That's what I'm super passionate about.
Sure. Any last words for our entrepreneurs as we close? I'm so inspired, and Gary, this conversation could continue forever.
I think for me, the one thing that I always say to people is just keep going. If you're somebody that has an entrepreneurial spirit and you feel like a specific business isn't working out, then keep going. There's always something else that's going to come. I think if you're somebody who even has the guts to start a business, then you are a force to be reckoned with. So don't be disheartened by any difficulties. Your time is now, so you just need to keep pushing and reach for the stars.
And out of interest, has there ever been a time that you felt like you need to stop this business, it's not working out? And what kept you going? Because I think, sometimes you're in business, you're running, things are not working out. But then you get to that point now, you must decide, do I continue? Do I hold on to this thing? Or do I keep going?
I think I have that thought every week. Every week. It was literally last week when I was just spotting quality issues with certain products, and I was like, why don't I just sell this business and go chill on an island somewhere? But I love the business. I love everything about it. I love that it's a legacy that I'll leave. So even though I do have those small moments of like, let me quit and just sell it and go chill somewhere, the desire to keep going is much bigger than that.
Thank you so much for the conversation, and thank you for giving us your time to inspire and speak to our entrepreneurs.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you to our guests for that delicious conversations in the ethos of what we do, helping entrepreneurs build and grow their businesses. Don't leave the conversation here. Leave your comments, your questions in the comment section, and we'll get back to them. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and also follow us on our social media pages. Go onto the website www.imanentrepreneur.co.za. Get more resources, tools to help you build and grow your business.